In today's video, we're going to be talking about the disturbing child grooming allegations against Onision and his husband Skye. That story coming up now. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. If you're a return subscriber, I sure do appreciate the continued support. If you're new here and you enjoy these types of videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, click on that notification bell and select it to all. That way you'll be notified when I upload my next video. Before we get started, and as always, I do need to remind you guys that I am a drama commentary channel. I have opinions and I speak them freely. Opinions are not facts, they never have been facts, and they never will be facts. Because of the nature of this video, I do need to also let you know that all of the information I have gathered for this video is all alleged. I cannot prove nor deny anything that happened. Again, all of the information that I have collected for this video today is all alleged. I do need to also let you guys know that this video is going to be very triggering for some. If you are sensitive to topics such as mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and miscarriage, please click off now. Again, this video is going to be very triggering. And now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's dive in. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with what child grooming is, the American Bar Association defines child grooming as a method used by offenders that involves building trust with a child and the adults around a child in an effort to gain access to and time alone with him or her. In extreme cases, offenders may use threats and physical force to sexually assault or abuse a child. More common, though, are subtle approaches designed to build relationships with families. The offender may assume a caring role, befriend the child, or even exploit their position of trust and authority to groom the child and/or the child's family. These individuals intentionally build relationships with the adults around a child or seek out a child who is less supervised by adults in his or her life. This increases the likelihood that the offender's time with the child is welcome and encouraged. Aspects of sexual grooming may include targeting the victim, securing access to and isolating the victim, gaining the victim's trust, and controlling and concealing the relationship. Where it occurs: in person, via the internet, in institutional settings. I apologize if that was a little boring, but I believe that it is important that everyone understands what child grooming is before we dive too deep into the allegations made against Onision and his husband Skye, so that you can make an educated opinion on the matter to the best of your abilities with the information that you have been given. Recently, several women have spoken out against Onision and his husband Skye on Twitter, accusing both Onision and Skye of purposely, knowingly child grooming young girls and being sexually inappropriate and manipulating them over the course of their relationship with them. Again, all this information is purely alleged. We're going to start at the beginning with Onision's first wife Skye and her sister Alicia. This is their story that they shared on Twitter. Onision and Skye were married in August of 2005, but were divorced 5 years later. One of the reasons that may have ultimately led to the divorce was that Skye found out that Onision was cheating on her with an underage girl by the name of Shiloh. Onision was ordered to pay alimony and he wasn't thrilled about it. He sent various emails begging her to set him free of his legal obligation to pay her, and even threatened her with suicide to try and garner some sympathy for his current predicament. Skye tweeted, "Onision, you threatened suicide if I didn't stop the remaining alimony to your large, then, audience. Remember how you made a video saying you lied about being suicidal because you were being manipulative while gloating about it?" Allegedly, Onision had written up his own contract and forced Skye to sign it, but it was thrown out in court because it wasn't a legal document. Skye tweeted, "His BS contract was thrown out because it was signed under a duress and wasn't even a legal document. He thinks me being professional and neutral with him back then equaled get back together. I finalized the divorce for a reason." Skye went on to say, "If he truly believed he held any grounds against me with these ridiculous claims, he would have showed up to the court that day during our divorce and presented evidence of his claims. Never appeared like the coward he is." Skye then went on to post receipts of emails from Onision where he allegedly threatened to kill himself over the alimony. She tweeted, "Disgusting abusive tactics, out of nowhere, on and off harassment over years, more receipts to follow. The only way I will be free of this debt that I have control over is killing myself. So unless I hear from you, unless you notify me that I no longer have to make payments, I'll take the only way out I know. I can't take this torture anymore. It's your choice, as relieving me of this debt is the determining factor." He also sent this email, Considering you completely ignored my pleas for help, mercy, I assume I must continue to be a slave to you, working for nothing, all because you lied, stole, and cheated the system. I've lost all respect for you, Skye. You clearly cannot love. You used me for an easy ride, just like when you cried when I requested a prenup. You set me up. Don't you dare say you love anyone ever again, because love means never stealing, corrupting a signed agreement only to replace it with ridiculous demands. I don't understand how you can live with yourself. I would be ashamed to be you. But, unlike you, I honor agreements to the best of my ability, and thus I am willing to continue paying so long as you provide the following payment information. Check the attached. If you fail to comply, payments will discontinue till you do, as they should considering you broke the law to get them in the first place, criminal. I have the legal right to stop if you do not provide me with the necessary information to deliver payment via this simple and direct method. By the way, I know the reason why you won't talk to me is because you have no defense for your actions, and talking to me directly would mean facing what a shameful person you have become. And allegedly, the emails just kept coming. Skye wrote, "Good afternoon, fellow humans. Didn't realize I had so many of these. I have a pretty big backlog of his tantrums and gaslighting attempts." Another email he wrote, "Please let me move on. Please let me be happy. Please don't take any more. All will be forgiven. I'm just tired of hurting. I want nothing from you. Why do you still take from me?" And then allegedly he wrote, "One thing keeps me going in this world, and that is love. I survived depression once because I knew I had to take care of you. I had my own gun to my head, but I remembered you November 14th, 2007. I lived so that you wouldn't suffer then, but I ask that you save me now. While I've decided to live for those who love me, as always, I still hope you show mercy, that which I desperately need. Let's at least figure out something I can afford. Please." Seeing that his emails had no effect, he allegedly went to posting about it publicly to his fans, which caused them to attack both her and her family, Skye tweeted. Screen caps of public postings years ago that at the time he was messaging me with manipulations of wanting to kill himself. These posts, among many others, were the main force that caused his audience to attack my family and I, making us have to privatize everything out of fear. Onision wrote, "If she really wanted to move on, she wouldn't continue trashing me with false accusations. How to move on? It's simple. Drop it. She gets her money monthly, so if she wants this issue to go away, then I better not see people on my contact page posting screenshots of her spreading even more lies about me. She lied, she stole, and she cheated her way to 6 years of an easy life. No matter what I say, she's the one who's laughing all the way to the bank." Golf clap. "Congrats, you're a con. Now enjoy your rewards and move on if you actually mean it." People don't want the truth. They just want to believe the man who tells them to stop eating animals, to stop mutilating babies, to stop hating guys, to stop killing each other, to stop hitting their children, lovers, to stop killing themselves with drugs, to take responsibility. They just want to believe I am wrong, as when they convince themselves I am wrong about one thing, they are easily able to go back to their lifestyle, writing me off as I never existed. That's not the truth. I am honest, I am strong, and I refuse to suffer in silence. Guys, I can't do this anymore. I've begged my ex-wife to stop taking alimony money from me. I've paid her for over a year, but thus far she refuses to stop. Seriously considering just giving it all up. I just want to move on. Why won't she let me move on? Please, Skye, stop, please. But apparently he's not as broke as he claims to be. Skye shows us the following emails he sent to Alicia. He said, "I could pay you to do videos if you want to sign over your channel to me. Basically, if you make so many videos a month, I'll gladly give you enough to live on." Seriously, Alicia, you have something I need for my videos. Your personality matches the style of my channel incredibly well. I'd like to work full-time on both of our channels. I think we'll write out a contract once your channel is earning more than I'm paying you. I'll sign it over back to you, and from that point you can have a long-term income from it. Overall, I'm pretty sure that this is going to pay more than any job you've had before. After some time, when he didn't hear from her, he sent her another message. "Hey, we're going on a prank tour. We'll pay you a few $1,000. Wanna come?" Yeah, it's pretty clear that he's not that hard up for cash. Allegedly, Onision not only cheated on Skye with Shiloh, but he was also hitting on Skye's younger sister, Alicia, which may also have contributed to the divorce. Alicia tweeted, "When I was 15 and got intoxicated during my rebel teens, he sat next to me after my friend left and tried to kiss me. I turned away horrified and ran across the room back toward my friend." She went on to say, "After ignoring him for so long, he vindictively started talking about my body in order to try and get my attention. I never showed him any modeling photos or told him about them. He sought them out himself. Creep." And now it's time to move on to patient zero, Shiloh, who allegedly is the underage girl that Onision cheated on Skye with. Allegedly, Onision and Shiloh met online while he was still married to Skye. This is her horrifying story of what her life was like with Onision. Trigger warning: if you are sensitive to topics of abuse and miscarriage, click off now. Shiloh recently decided to share her story on Twitter, and this is what she had to say. She tweeted, "Didn't I spend my 18th birthday at the Sandman next to the airport so you could fly me out the next morning without needing my mother's written consent to take me to your house in Tacoma? We talked for around 8 months every day on Skype for almost 8 to 10 hours of the day. Skye was normally online shopping in the background whilst Greg was editing videos and on Skype with me. I was just a fan turned friend at the time." December 2010, while I was 17, I received a call from Onision on Skype showing me the divorce papers, or whatever bogus contract he wrote up, that he had made Skye sign earlier that night. This was the first time he told me he loved me. "Do you remember checking the state laws before coming to Pennsylvania a few days after, telling me you were leaving Skye for me to make sure you could have sex with a 17-year-old? 16 was the consenting age. You hit a deer with your car and wrecked it on your way to Pennsylvania. You bought a plane ticket instead. You showed up at my hotel room and slept with me within 5 minutes. I can't wait to get you pregnant," the first words I heard you say in person. "My mother notified the hotel that you were there and the police arrived. We were asked to leave because of the camera equipment in the room. Your computer was searched for child pornography. I was sent home. You flew back to Tacoma. You started to alienate me from my mother. Shortly after the Pennsylvania incident, you rented an apartment in my city for a few months while you waited for me to turn 18. In this time, you manipulated me into cutting off both of my parents from my life. I lived in that apartment with you until you flew me to Tacoma on my birthday. You convinced me to get your name tattooed on me to show you I loved you. You told me you would do the same. I came home with Gregory tattooed on me as a surprise. You got 'Remember Love' in return. I was still 17. Remember when I left you while we were living in that apartment because I found Skye's sister's board daughter photos on your computer and you admitted to me that you Googled them yourself, got off to them, and then showed me all the other porn you were watching behind my back? Remember how you also pathetically collapsed at my feet and begged me to stay, then chased 17-year-old me down the street in your socks in the rain? Yuffie Kizakargi Gets was the first pornography you showed me. Was it 1 week or 2 weeks after I moved in that you started locking me out of the editing room to masturbate to porn while I cried and begged you not to? When you weren't on top of me 8 times a day most days, you were masturbating to jailbait. When you weren't doing that, you were recording, editing videos. You had me sleep next to your chair in the office so I could wake up and service you if you needed it. I shaved half my head on my own accord because I wanted to be a Skrillex. You shaved my whole head in the middle of sex because you wanted to degrade me. No bras unless unpadded in sport. No makeup unless for videos. No contact with friends and family unless you want problems. All boys clothes from Target, Walmart, wholesale. No accounts without him having the password. No intoxicating substances of any kind. No meat. June 2011, after having seizures in my sleep unknowingly from the stress, you finished your daily routine with me, and after in the shower told me I was clinically obese and you couldn't pick me up so I had to lose weight. You continued to confess that you preferred much skinnier, specifically Asian descent or looking girls. I had my first grand mal seizure after you left me in the shower to cry and hyperventilate. This caused 3 years of memory loss. You filmed the results. July 2011, you wanted me to stay living in the house as your friend and broke up with me. That night you wouldn't let me sleep in the bedroom and like many nights tried to lock me out of it because I was crying while you were trying to sleep. I tried to push my way into the door. I had enough. Ripped of my feminine, alone in 18. I would not leave you alone and I was manic with trying to make you understand and stop. You called the police on me for the first time. You filmed the breakdown that followed. The police took me to a mental care facility because when Greg did not let me call my mother to come and get me from Tacoma, I had threatened suicide while he was on the phone with the police. They put me in a white concrete room with no windows, no bed, and no inside door handle. One nurse came and took my information down and I told her everything. She allowed me to call my mother and remove me from care and to the main office to wait. I was picked up by my family hours later. This is off topic, but I wish I could thank her for giving me a voice that day. This was the first breakup. After a few weeks we spoke. You pushed yourself at me and I pushed back. I wasn't coming home right away. You flew out to another state to have sex with Adrian. I found out over Facebook you had a new girlfriend. During this time I smoked weed, got drunk, and bought a sex toy. That end part is irrelevant to the story. I just hope you see it, Onision. I effing hate you. September 2011. You lured me back in. You flew me to LA and a few days in took me to pick out my own engagement ring. We filmed the video announcing my return that night. Just so you know, I never loved you. I was a victim of your manipulation, and the thought of you not only never crosses my mind, but it never affects my life, day, mood. You're powerless, and you have been powerless for years. How does it feel, Onision? You sexualized everything to the point where it became extremely uncomfortable for me to watch movies, TV shows, or anything that might show the female form. You compared, critiqued, and at times shamed my body. Sexual encounters were always aggressive. Keep in mind I was only 18. You like to call me a bee, a slut, a whore during. I got UTI infections frequently. You used to pull my hair back so hard my windpipe would be compressed to the point I couldn't make noise. This was my first sexual relationship. I became conditioned to think this was normal for my age. I remember one night sleeping on the floor while Greg edited a video. I was nudging his hand with my head to get his attention for a long time while he ignored me. After a while, he leaned down and said, "I love how you love me. It's so pure, like a puppy." Aww. October 2011. Now it's time to address this, Onision, you lying sack of waste. You got me pregnant. The pregnancy was confirmed with a blood test and an ultrasound. 16 weeks into pregnancy, on a follow-up ultrasound, no heartbeat was found. The baby had died and not yet passed. A urine sample was taken. The midwife sent us home and informed me she would follow up with me over the phone. The midwife called informing me that the baby had died between 5 and 7 weeks gestation, and that I was at risk for going septic if the baby did not pass. I had seen no blood, no passing, no nothing, and so 18-year-old me Googled going septic. You refused to pay for the healthcare required. I had no other choice but to fly back to Canada. You released a video entitled, "Shiloh has sepsis." The night I landed in Canada, you broke up with me. You then posted the video, "Goodbye, Shiloh," and after framed me as a liar. December 2011, I am taken to the emergency room for severe pain in my abdomen with no vaginal bleeding. I am given Pectacin and spent the next 10 hours with 3-minute contractions 1 minute apart. The baby had been gone for 10 weeks and had not yet passed. I had gone septic. I received an emergency DNC. My mind was still so bent that when I came to from anesthesia, I asked for Greg. My mother took my passport from my purse. This was the last breakup. January 2012, you won me back. You sent me $1,100 via Western Union to get a new passport. Facts. I never ordered a new passport. I spent that $1,100. I pawned the engagement ring for an Xbox. I slept with someone else. I had his baby. I got away from you. Wow, this story is truly, truly disturbing. After Shiloh, Onision met Lainey and they got married and had 2 children. Lainey has since transitioned into a male and changed her name to Skye with the full support of her husband. And now we move on to Billy's story. Billy was in contact with Skye online, forming a friendship that would eventually develop into something a bit more with the help of Onision. Hey, it's Billy. Everyone has been so damn brave to come out and talk about what they had gone through. I want to finally talk about it too and show all the emails I've gotten throughout the past 3 to 4 years from Onision being a manipulative creep. Guess I'm going to start with the fact Greg was never supposed to be involved, and they had me walk into this thinking it was just me getting to know Skye. But he hit us with a, "I thought this was going to be a 3-way relationship" at the dinner table, never really discussed it. Billy posted some screenshots she had of a conversation she had with Skye, also known as Lainey at the time. Skye said, "I'm in a hetero relationship, but he is really supportive of me pursuing girls, just so you know. And like, not with him involved, just me. I hope that's okay with you." And then Billy said, "Okay, good. I didn't want to overstep boundaries. Yes, that's perfectly okay with me." And then Skye said, "Yay! I'm really happy right now. Well, hi, I guess I should formally introduce myself. I'm Lainey." And then Billy said, "Hello, I'm Billy. Tell me about yourself." Billy then tweeted, "A month after me and Skye started getting to know each other, Greg was already pressuring us to date and for me to ask him out. Like hella pushing it. I didn't ask Skye out, but he asked me out not long after this, so I can only imagine Greg pressured him to do so." Billy then shared a screenshot of a conversation she had with Onision. Onision said, "Do you ever think about dating Lainey?" Lainey wanted to know, but I told her I would ask you. I hope you feel comfortable answering. And then Billy said, "I do. I'm not sure how she'd feel about it, though. I feel like her family would freak out if they knew. I noticed how stressed she was about the internet and the kissing thing last time." And then Onision said, "She and I talked in depth about everything. Her biggest concern was losing me, according to what she said. But she knows there is no risk of that because of our conversation. So..." Onision went on to say, really, all that is left to worry about is her family, which she actually isn't as worried about as you may think. She's wanted her hair cut for some time, but never got it till I encouraged her. She was afraid to analyze herself and her attraction to women. And again, I encouraged her. I want Lainey to be Lainey, nothing less. I also think you're pretty great, so... Like I said, her family has seen her go through a few transitions while she's been with me, and they've made a few phobic comments, but Lainey would rather be herself than let them try to make her something she's not, you know? She's strong like that. Lastly, as far as Lainey worrying about the internet, that doesn't last long after she comes to me about it. She keeps saying, people keep saying horrible things, and I respond reminding her that what she's doing is what she should be doing. This is what she wants. It's what I want. We're both happier because of the person she really is. Being who you truly are, seeking out happiness outweighs internet comments. Anyway, now it's a race to see who will ask out the other first. I haven't told Lainey about your response yet because I've been writing all of the above. So, you know, maybe ask her if you see this in time. And then Billy said, good, I'm glad that you can talk to her to give her a more positive perspective on everything. So wait, should I ask her out or should I ask her about it? I have never initiated anything in my entire life. How do I go about everything? Onision said, ask her like now. Unless you're not ready. Lainey is doing the same nervous thing as always. You two are funny. And then Billy said, right now? We're talking about piercings and such. Is that too random of a time to ask? Sorry for the late reply, my phone restarted for some reason. Billy then tweeted later, this is from when Greg tried to get me and A to stay longer after the whole Billy cheated on me but my husband didn't cheat situation. I know I'm not entirely innocent in this, but I did say more than once that I didn't think Lainey would be okay with what was going on. The lack of communication in the house is horrifying. Greg told Kai he was going to do whatever he wanted, then Kai told me not to let that happen, but he told Greg he can do whatever. So I was stuck trying to tell Greg no, as he's already all over me the second he sees me. Honestly, I was afraid to say no because I thought he was going to get mad at me or Lainey, and at the time my thought process clearly wasn't the best, but his reaction every time I said anything about not being okay, he would just try to reassure me it was. After this entire mess, I ran up and cried to A about what had happened, and Greg went and told Kai he had sex with me, and it just became this huge thing of everyone sitting in a different room fighting as Greg ran back and forth to talk to us about it all, trying to fix it. Eventually, at the dinner table, Greg flipped it all on me, saying he couldn't believe I'd do that because I had talked to Kai about it prior, saying I wouldn't have sex with him. So yeah, it ended up all being my fault, and I somehow was the only one that cheated, but Greg was trying to make everything work still, so he made us sign a contract saying we would stay longer to work things out. That's when he started bringing up me getting a Lily tattoo, Lainey, for our ship name because it was apparently Lily. I said no, I thought it was a dumb idea to get a tattoo like that, but he kept trying to convince me to show my loyalty and do it for Lainey. So after a minute, A walks out and hears him trying to convince me to get a tattoo, and he literally asked my best friend if she thought it was a good idea. Of course she said hell no. He was surprised that she said no too, so he tried to talk to her alone for a while to convince her why I should, and at that point we were already out of the door, sneaking out of the house, trying to get away from their craziness. We hid in this mini house that they had at the time, trying to call an Uber to get the F out of there, and he didn't even want to let me go. It's funny, he said I made him walk in the rain in this too because his A followed me. Why would I need him to follow me? I'm trying to escape. Onision emailed her and said, read if you care to know my parting thoughts. I'm blocking your numbers again due to the fact that I put so much on the line to defend you, Billy. And after saying you loved us, you still abandoned us in the middle of the night. You betrayed my love and all the times I fought to defend your actions, trying to convince Lainey you meant well when it was clear now that it was not the case. I fought so hard to keep you in our lives. I love the person I thought you were. You know I did everything I could to be there for you and keep us all together. You ruined all hope when you left. I told you that is what leaving meant, and you still walked out. You even had me walk in the rain in the middle of the night barefoot to do what? Watch you throw our lives away? Lainey was right about you. It was my fault for trusting you. Regardless, I hope you both have safe travels home and live happy lives. I really do. Goodbye. Billy also tweeted, more manipulation, both in the same day a few hours apart. This is when they made Sara stop talking to me and Greg blocked me off Sara's YouNow, and they basically forced her to answer questions they wanted answers to. Onision sent Billy an email. It says, Last night you showed up at the live stream and Lainey sobbed uncontrollably. They clearly still love you. Lainey also dreams about you regularly. They just told me about a dream they had about you last. I made the mistake of trying to make this a three-way relationship. If I never did that, there would have been barely any breakups, if any at all. What I'm saying is, I have been the most judgmental and decisive in this relationship, so I'm probably not supposed to be in it. Lainey wasn't the problem, and I want them to be happy. If you still love Lainey, please consider getting back with them and only them. If not, I'm sorry for bothering you. Bye, Billy. The other email says, okay, 1, that thing about me taking you back 1,000 times, being tortured by you, and still going back, that still stands. But as I said before, this is about Lainey, and they need to be happy too. On the live stream, blocking you, I was the messenger. Lainey was crying, so I had you blocked to stop her from crying, and Lainey wished Sara to answer the questions being asked, so I told her to answer the questions people were asking. 3. My suggestion that you get back with Lainey and only Lainey, not me, is no longer an option, as Sara just talked Lainey out of being willing to get back with you. Just keeping the record straight. You know we had awesome times, you know who I really am, and you know how much we did to help take care of you. Anger is easy, but remember the good times, because those were really good. Thanks for all the good, Billy. Bye. I gotta tell you, man, these emails show really complicated relationships between several people, and it's just one giant mess I'd hate to be a part of. And now, finally, we move on to their latest victim, Sara. This is her story. Sara was receiving very inappropriate text messages and having very inappropriate conversations with Skye and Greg at the early age of 14 years old, clearly underage. Sara tweeted, "This is my story and nobody can take it from me. Tomorrow is going to be a lot to deal with and I'm nervous, but let's let the chips fall where they may. I don't have to rely on my messed up memory. I have every single text since I was 14 still saved. I bought Skye's old laptop a while ago. I asked them to wipe it for me before sending it, but they didn't. So guess who still has access to all his texts and pictures?" Sara also tweeted, "A very brief timeline of my visits with Onision and Cool Guy for some clarity. August 2016, my 16th birthday. September 2016, first visit. October 2016, February 2017, first time living with Greg and Skye. April 2017, visit. August 2017, November 2017, second time living with Greg and Skye. Early July 2018, late August 2018, visit when relationship idea was introduced again. September 2018, first time I cut them off. December 2018, I came back for Christmas. January 2019, visit with Greg and Skye. January 2019, visit when Skye and Greg started having sex with me. February 2019, visit and the second time I cut them off. April 2019, June 2019, Greg pressured me to come back to just be his friend. June 30th, 2019 through July 8th, 2019, visit and Greg asked me to date him after Greg, Skye, and I had sex. July 17, 2019, July 23rd to 2019. Last visit with just Greg at the house. Greg cheats on Skye with me and Greg breaks up with me. Sara then tweeted something that Onision sent her a few months ago. He said, "I just want to point something out. This is stupid. I loved making love to both of you. I loved seeing you satisfy Skye. I loved making out with you while effing Skye. I loved you being around when you guys weren't fighting. Personally, I'd love to do countless things with both of you." Alright, well that was horrifying. Sara then continued on with her tweets. She said, "Greg and I effed while Skye was in New Mexico. Use it against me. Greg and Skye let me have alcohol. Skye sent me a selfie with his genitalia out while I was underage. Please try me." I do have some photos of Skye sending inappropriate pictures of himself. I am not sure if these are the same exact ones Sara is talking about, but there is proof that Skye did indeed send inappropriate photos. And clearly these photos are censored. And clearly sending nudes isn't something new for Skye. He tweeted, "In other news, I'm totes sending Regina nudes right now." Sara continued on with her tweets. She said, "Skye told me exactly how big Greg's D is when I was 14. The hickey Greg gave me on January 17th, 2019. And then she said, he's still contacting me. Damn, he mad." Greg messaged, "You blackmailed us, which is illegal in the way you did. You and Billy both publicly and privately admitted you, Sara, were never groomed. We have the receipts. You blanked Skye, not only with the crime of sexual extortion, look it up, that's exactly what you did, but also blanked Skye when he flirted with you as an adult from afar, but said he was uncomfortable repeatedly to you in person. You knew he was uncomfortable, and you did what you did anyway. You forced him. You said you hated A for saying she wanted to have sex with you when you were a minor. We all hated her, but you clearly were dishonest, all because you would do anything to sleep with Skye again, even without his consent. You joined the people who talk about us obsessively after lying and saying you hated them, would never become like them. We haven't gone public about your blackmail, sexual extortion, and blank because we don't want to violate the NDA. We also don't want to hurt your ability to succeed in life. But you have gone public because you are a liar. You did not care about any of us. You violated the legal agreement you blackmailed us to sign. You are a liar, illegally so. I am asking you to move on with your life. After all the crimes you committed, this is the simplest request. You said you cared about our kids, even said you were like a mom to them, so what are you going to do? What are you getting out of this? You know it's hurting them. When we have hurt no kids, you actively hurt ours. After you admitted to blanking Kai via sexual extortion, after also blanking Kai when he clearly was not into you, you pushed anyway. You stomped off because I refused to have sex with you. I refused to even kiss you. And now you're going to go on a public campaign with no one knowing you are a blank, and we suffer silently as you get praised for being a criminal, liar, blank, and blackmailer. I know you're getting paid to lie on you now. I know you like the attention, but this is wrong. You without any doubt did all these things and will still respect the NDA despite all of this because, unlike you, we are honest. We respect the legal agreement you publicly admitted to breaking, admitting you are a liar in the worst way. You may also want to pass on the fact that you admitted to doing cocaine in your home state to your audience and your diagnosis, which directly affects your ability to function like a normal human being. Like your personality disorder, this is sick, Sara. They should know who you actually are, but we are not sick like you. We just want to live our lives, and you, a blackmailing, lying, child-harming blank, we never should have offered to help you as we did for years, as you admitted, not grooming you ever at any point. Please leave us alone. We kicked you out of our life after you blackmailed, lied, and threw a fit when we did not want to sleep with you or even kiss you. This is sick and unhealthy. Please get help, but most of all, leave the person you blanked, blackmailed, and betrayed repeatedly alone. Sara responded to Greg by tweeting, "So since every time I was with Kai, Greg was also involved. Does that mean that Greg is an accomplice to the multiple blanks of his own husband? Crap, fam, this is messed up." Sara continued with tweeting. She said, "You're pathetic, Onision." Apparently, Greg sent another message, and he said, "I want you to know, I have never seen Kai hurt this much. The damage you did, I can't believe you would hurt Kai and the kids like this. What you did hurt everyone in the house. I can't believe you are only doing this because I refused to make out with you in the theater and refused to sleep with you. You are hurting Kai and the kids you said you cared about because we rejected you. How could you do this? Accept that we don't want to be with you and move on. Stop hurting innocent people." Sara did go on to say, she said, "Kai is not innocent. However, I've seen what Greg does to him and it's mental torture. Nobody deserves that." And then she finally went on to say, "At Onision, I hate you and I hate Kai too. You're both disgusting. You took me in as a child who looked up to you guys and completely effed me in the head for years, only to eff me the first chance you got after I turned 18. Burn in hell." Fortunately, there appears to be a light at the end of this dark tunnel. Sara's friend Dylan tweeted, "Sara and I have left the courthouse. Please stop telling her to come forward. She's on it." There are so many receipts, so much evidence that I can't possibly fit them all into one video. I recommend that you check out both Not Another Drama channel and DramaLynn Opinions. They both put out very well done and informative videos on this topic. I'll be sure to link their videos down below in the description box. I will also link all of the resources I used for this video as well. And now it's time for my 2 cents on all of this. If what all of these young women are saying is true, Onision is clearly a garbage person. If the alleged allegations are accurate, then I hope all the victims come together and take legal action against him and Kai. I would hope that he gets put away for a very long time before someone else falls prey to his manipulation and becomes yet another victim. I feel absolutely sick at the idea that these poor young women suffered both mentally and physically at the hands of someone who is clearly evil. I have heard of Onision before, and I have always been bothered at the way he seems to treat young women. I first heard of him when Eugenia Cooney went into recovery for her eating disorder. I came across Onision while doing some research on her. I stumbled across these videos of him making fun of the fact that she suffers from an eating disorder. He was pretending to be her. He was pretending to be cooking food in a pan with absolutely nothing in it or maybe just a grain of rice. And he would claim that that's all she would eat in a day. It was disgusting. I was even more sickened when he actually had the nerve to claim that he was the reason that she finally decided to get help. He made videos upon videos about her even when she asked him to stop, but he didn't. Only after he realized, and this is just my opinion, only after he realized that he could capitalize off of her recovery did he take those videos down and make new ones claiming to care about her and her recovery. Boy, please. And this isn't the only example of him being a creep. There is this video going around that was on his Patreon of him drugging a dummy taking advantage of said dummy, beating the dummy. It's just disgusting. I won't show it on my channel because it's that vile, but I will link it down below if you feel the desire to actually go and check it out. It's just gross. Honestly, it gives me serial killer vibes, and it's just so creepy. As far as Skye, I don't know a lot about him except for what has been shared on the internet. I do feel that he did indeed send those inappropriate sexting pictures to underage children, and I think that he needs to be charged for it. However, I also feel that maybe Skye is also a victim of Onision. Sara had mentioned in one of her tweets that Onision doesn't even know what love is and that he doesn't love her. So, maybe she's just another victim of his manipulation, which could be very well true, and if it is, I pray that she gets the help that she needs to get the heck out of there because he is a horrible person. Who I really feel the most sorry for are the 2 children in that house. If the situation is indeed what it appears to be, I hope that they can get out of there and be raised by other family members who will love them and care for them the way they deserve to be loved. Frankly, having seen how he behaved in the past, I personally tend to believe these young women that have come forward. On the other hand, however, if it turns out that all of these accusations are false and he is being accused unjustly, you can bet each one of these young women are going to be hit with a heavy lawsuit for slander. I hope each of them has done the right thing and lawyered up because things are going to get messy if both Onision and Skye come after them. So what do you guys think about this whole messy situation? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much again for spending some time with me today. Remember, if you are new here, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Everyone give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you very shortly on the next one. Bye!